Before this video starts, I know that I usually post over-analyzing videos on Fridays, but this week I haven't really had the time. I've been doing a lot of busy things, and those videos kind of take a lot of time with editing and going through it and all that, so I do want to apologize for those that have been probably waiting. I will be coming back with one next week, and I promise you guys it'll be a banger, but either way, let's get into the video. When I look back in 2020, a lot of the things that I think about are obviously the quarantine, the lockdown, being at home and staying inside, but also me dwelling on something that I really didn't like and enjoyed. And obviously it's nothing that was really major, it was just some sort of rejection type shit, you know how it'd be. Now obviously that's just something that everyone goes through. It was a hard time, I think, in a lot of people's lives, and definitely for me, as there was like a recent breakup and then obviously COVID, and then just on top of that everything else, and that was just kind of something where I let it dwell on me for not only a month but almost 2 months, and this was during the summer. And one of the main things I realized looking back at it was the past is in my head. It happened, it's over, so why stay in bed until 2-3 p.m. even 4 p.m. and stress about it and be sad about it when I can do literally anything in my future. I can go out there and meet somebody else, I can go out there and put myself out there, talk to people, different people. It's not just one single person I need to be hooked on and then let it ruin my entire summer. This is one of the things that's important, and I think it applies to literally everything. If you failed a test, it happened. And obviously it's hard to get over that, especially when it just happened, but it comes to a point where you have the future in your hands, because you have the capability of, when you need to redo that test or do a second test that's a make it or break it, you have that moment to change it and actually study and put the time into it and actually want to succeed. And I think a lot of the things that are holding us back when it comes to literally doing anything is thinking about also the past. Not only that we tell ourselves things are hard and that's why we don't want to, but also because of something that it's either we've tried it before and we just don't think that we can do it, or something happened, and you know, because it happened in the past, it's hard for you to go back and get into something. Who knows what it is, but you have the capability of making the future what you want it to be. If you, like I said, if you really want to pass that test, you have the time, you have the idea, and you have the vision of what you need to do to pass that test, instead of just sitting there and, like I said, being sad about rejection and all that stuff. I can literally change the course of my future and be like, hey, instead of wasting this time thinking about the past, let's think about the future for a second. And I never really took that in consideration. Obviously I was just a teenager, and now that I'm like a 22-year-old adult, I'm able to take care of myself more and not ever go back to those roots. But it's just an interesting thing that a really silly thing even that I did back in the day. And honestly, it happens to the best of us, where something happens and we're sad about it, and we're sad, depressed, or whatnot about it, and we want to just be sad and just stay in bed all day or not go out and do anything. Obviously it was COVID, but it was getting to that point where people were going out, people were hanging out, so at that point there was no point of just staying in bed all day. And when you let the past affect you, it'll stop you from gaining the things that you want to do. For example, if you want to go and start working out, it kind of stops you from doing that, just because you're stressed out, you're sad, you're depressed, and you don't have no motivation for anything, because you're just dwelling on something that's unmotivating and that's sad. And that's the thing, you gotta be able to accept that something negative happened to you and think about the future. You can change the future, you get to decide what your future is. If you want to stay sad, then stay sad, and it's not gonna gain anything for the future. But if you start going to the gym, if you start going out more, if you start talking to your friends, talking to new people, your future will be a lot more different than just being sad, obviously. Now I just think that that's something that you should consider if you're someone that's currently stressed out about something that happened and you can't seem to forget about it, or you're dwelling on it. Even if you do something embarrassing, it's in the past, and things happened, and everything does happen for a reason. I had made a video a while back, but I never posted about everything happens for a reason. But things do happen for a reason, and some of these things that happen for a reason are supposed to sometimes set you up for the future, for you to succeed, and that's what's important. And the main takeaway for this video is just remember that you get to choose how you want your future to be. And I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I think it's a really important thing to take in consideration, because you have the capability of, like I said at the beginning as my example, that test of yours, you can absolutely pass it with 100%. I mean, that's almost hard, but you can if you really want to. And you could literally do anything. Anything. Your mind is your most powerful thing. You'll always overthink things. You'll always stress yourself out over things, but that's the thing. Just stop thinking about those things and just do it, because that's what's important. And the past is the past, but the future is what you should be always looking for when it comes to succeeding and changing your life. But either way, it's been Fellow, and I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope this video makes sense. And have yourself a great weekend and a great day. Stay smart.